A slimy, grueling creature trying to pass as a person. It's anywhere between ages 20 and 2000. It crawls out of a hellish hole, unable to speak, unable to look you directly in the eyes, and then it does the unthinkable. But what really is the unthinkable? What really is that thing your party will never forget? Well, I got you covered. In this series, I create a one-shot, a setting, an item, or a character. Today we're covering the Forgotten Warrior, who I've created as an NPC for your game, but you can also use as a backstory for your player character. The Forgotten Warrior is a terrible person with a good heart, like that guy in your DMs. Centuries ago, Inothar was a great warrior, slaying her queen's foes with ease. She was granted a special gift: freedom, the chance to build her life outside of the kingdom, away from the troubles of society. Out in the forest, she found the perfect spot, right by a river and with enough sunlight coming through the trees. Every other week, she would go into the big city for supplies like food and salt and to sell her crops that she had started growing. She tried her very hardest to make sure she wouldn't linger. She liked the feeling of the city, but she also knew that it could get exhausting and staying too long could really get to her. However, one day, she met another elf at the market. Unlike anyone she's ever met, they grew closer and closer, and slowly but surely, Inothar found herself coming into the city more and more, until she finally asked the elf to move in with her, and they did. Together they grew their crops, and their little homestead would become more and more self-sustainable. Inothar would come to the city less often, once a month, once every half year, once a year, once every 5 years. The gaps kept widening, until one day, she was in desperate need of fish feed, of all things. She found a man speaking to a crowd about magic and their futures. When Inothar approached, the man's eyes widened and pushed the crowd to get to her. He told her about her future, and lonely path riddled with loss and heartbreak and cruelty. And as he placed his hand on her forehead, she had a vision. Everything he told her was true. Or so it seemed, from losing her partner to raiders to slowly losing her mind as a result. As she broke down in tears, the man told her that he could help her prevent all of this from happening, and she submitted to him. In reality, of course, she'd been fed a lie, but the vision was so real that it worked wonders on her. She started off seeing the man once every month, then developed into meeting more often, whenever he needed her really. At first, he said that he was training her and would let her dabble in magic. The longer she worked for him, the more he would send her away on dangerous quests to retrieve items for him, sending her away for weeks at a time. This really caused a strain on her relationship, and instead of trying to fix it by having a conversation or by trying to talk about it, she sought comfort with a man who kept promising her greater and greater power to fix everything. But one day, after she was sent on a long quest, deep into a cave far away, she got stuck. The cave collapsed and closed her in. She tried everything to escape but failed time and time again. She wouldn't escape for another 150 years. When she found her way out, she was a changed elf. Moisture of the cave had permanently damaged her skin, wrinkling it and sagging it. Her hair one big rocky mess, and her eyes only capable of seeing in the dark, sunlight blinding her. She had become a cave monster, not being able to clearly communicate any longer. The only thing she remembered was her master, and she returned to his house. When she got there, however, she found no one, just a note that read, "You failed." She completely broke down and, in her rage, destroyed most of the house. She accidentally managed to make her way back to her homestead, but her partner was gone too, though she wasn't even sure anymore if her memory was right about having a partner. Inothar now roams the land in search of her master, and maybe, somehow, reunite herself with her love that she doesn't remember. And that's Inothar. She would work really well as a fighter, a ranger, but I really like the idea of playing her as a Hexblade Warlock. If you want to use her as an NPC in your game, I have a tiny surprise for you. I've created a stat block for her, her master, and even her partner in D&D Beyond. This way you can include her, the master, the partner, everyone, without really having to do too much prep. And it's gonna save you a lot of time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you do so. Consider subscribing to the Patreon. There's not actually a lot going on the Patreon right now because I don't have time for anything. But if you want to support me somehow, it would be greatly appreciated. So, I hope you have a nice day. Enjoy your life, and thank you for watching again. Bye bye.